Hello, our little lifers. I'm Mark.
And I'm Donna.
It's been a
What are we?
while again, right?
I know. We've been slacking, but life has been happening,
It has.
like a lot of
Which
stuff.
leads us to this episode. And we decided, because I have a podcast for both of my companies.
Yeah. We're on different
And
sides of the mansion.
yeah, you're out in the chicken coop.
Exactly.
Um, but anyway, conversation this morning led to this episode. And of course, the title of it is No One Can Save You But Yourself. What does that mean? Well, I guess when we started this channel, obviously we were going to be a spinoff from Donna's channel, The Coop Scoop, which has been doing phenomenally well. She's monetized. Congratulations. It's so awesome. Worked
I'm
hard.
excited.
A lot
Yeah.
of you here are from The Coop Scoop. But if you're not, go to The Coop Scoop.
Welcome. Yes.
Yeah.
If you like
check
chicken,
it out. If you like chickens, yes.
because that's pretty much all it's about.
But anyway, we had started this spinoff channel just sort of wanting to just share our little life, share our um, views on life, our experiences in life, maybe some homesteading tips, this and
Yeah.
that. But
A little day to day.
yeah, so just trying to find our voice to be consistent with this channel because it's easy to do and it's easy not to do because, like Donna said, life's been happening. But just kind of want to peel back the curtains a little bit. And this is kind of a bold statement, but what we share here actually could make a difference in your life, difference in your marriage, different
And
in
see,
your.
like, I don't know what he's going to talk about. So
Along for the ride.
I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah. But really, I think I don't know if everybody's ever heard of a book as a man thinketh by James Allen. So I'm going to read a quote here from that book. Man's mind may be likened to a garden, which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. But whichever cultivated or neglected, it must and will bring forth. If no useful seeds are put into it, then an abundance of useless weed seeds will fall thereon and will continue to produce their kind. Kind of the parable in the Bible about, faith and seeds and things that are, fall upon rocky ground and things like that. But I think what I want to talk about here, and Donna will quickly pick up where we're going with this, is when we think back over our 35 and a half years of marriage and what we have experienced and learned and our different personalities and how as we all grow older and we go through different experiences in life, it shapes and molds who we become and who we are.
Yeah.
And when you hear in the Bible, for those of you that have faith, for those of you that don't, follow along, that whether you want to realize it or admit it or not, we do live in a spiritual world. There is a spiritual battle that goes on.
Yeah.
And let me explain that a little bit further. Is the scripture that talks about Satan, the devil, roams around looking to devour. And then you have the parable and the talk about putting on the full armor of God and the helmet of salvation. But what I mean by that is the devil's main weapon is our mind. It's the way we think and the way we respond to circumstances. Now, circumstances are not a competition. You can, if you sit there and you lay out people's challenges and circumstances in life, there's always going to be someone that has something that's far worse than what we're going through each. But again, it's no competition. It is real to whomever's going through what you're going through. And Don, I think you agree. We talk a lot. There's been a lot going on in life, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like in the last, and I mean, I don't think at this point it would be any kind of a secret that we voted conservatively, which means we voted for Trump. And I feel like I've seen evil reveal itself in the last 4 years, 6 years, maybe even longer than that, more than I ever have. And I have really, really begun to understand the fact that we do live in the natural, but alongside us always is the spirit world. And we are constantly having to fight against the natural and flesh and the things that come along with that. So it's been very apparent to me that I do need to have on the full armor of God.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing is, as far as politically, people that love Trump, hate Trump, it's not about Trump.
No.
It's just really not about Trump. And whether you like him or not, same thing with the story of the Bible, whether you believe in it or not, it doesn't change the truth of what is. It doesn't change the fact of life. And I think as we've gotten older and just kind of realizing the things that don't make sense, that's hard to grasp and understand, God's ways are not our ways, and trying to read the Bible and going, God, there is some psycho acid trip stuff in there. It really is bizarre. But I think Donna and I both, as we work through and talk through things, that if you step back and punt the ball and really just watch, you realize that's what makes sense. It is a spiritual battle going on. There is a demonic presence and force. There is the opposites of everything in life. The Bible speaks of, there's a time for every season in life. And if you sit there and use your common sense and sit there and go, everything has an opposite. Everything does. There's hot, there's cold, there's good, there's bad, there's light, there's dark. Those are just truths of life. And, even spinning off into the example of the Indian parable is you've got two dogs or two wolves or however you want to look at it. And one represents good or evil. The one that you feed the most is what's going to be the most aggressive and what's going to dominate.
That will be
your
what
life.
thrives.
That's what thrives. Yeah. And this is where I want to peel back and just really, be really transparent as a couple, because we do want the things that we do to make a difference. We want to take the things that have happened in life that have not been pleasant and have not been fun, that has been trying to wreak destruction, and allow God to use that through our lives of being transparent to make a difference in you, the viewer, you, the subscriber, because there's so much crap out there. There is so much crap. It's so ridiculous. I allow it sometimes to drive me nuts. And Donna will let you know that's the case. That I'll sit there and see some stuff and just be baffled that people are making a living putting this kind of shit out there.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. But anyway, I think what's interesting about Donna and I, and looking back over our years of marriage and the things I personally have had to work through, and what has put us in the position of where we're at, I can truly say that I love Donna deeper and more than I ever have. And it's in ways that I never would have understood when I was younger.
Right. Yeah.
And the importance of,
like, your priorities shift as you grow older.
They shift big time.
Yeah.
And I think it's learning to be a team, right?
Absolutely.
To be a team. And I think the things like Donna's upbringing, totally different and opposite from mine. But at the end of the day, that doesn't make one right or wrong, good or different.
Yeah.
We all have jacked up issues, in our histories, in our life, right? Every family's got some sort of Jerry Springer thing in it. So
true.
I grew up in the church, and I'm not being judgmental. I'm just calling it like it is. My mom and dad were the Bickersons.
Oh.
Just bickering and fussing and arguing and all. And then as we look back, we were talking this morning, they had a lot that they went through.
Yeah.
The way they were treated as they were raised, and everybody's dysfunction spills over into your children, and either you're going to raise your children as best as possible, being mindful about what you're doing, or you're going to just pass on your dysfunction.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that kind of gets in, and we'll open up, and I'll quit hogging the conversation here. And we talk about no one can save you but yourself. Now, obviously, we can bring in the spiritual side of things, of Jesus saves and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But even with that said, what I've learned the hard way is a lot of times as we sit there, those of us that have faith and you're trying to cry out to God and pray and save you from this or that or whatever, that a lot of times the answer to our prayers is us.
Yeah, and I think titling that "No one can save you." I don't know how you title it. "No one can save us but yourself"
Ourselves
is really for me. And this is kind of I said that this morning, and Mark goes, "That's a good title," but I look at it from, you don't have a healthy mindset without God working on you. Like, I just feel like, I know there are some people that aren't believers that can say, like, I have a healthy mindset, but I feel like if you want to take that healthy mindset and do good with it and share that with the world in any kind of capacity, even if it's through your struggles, then that is of God. Like, that's just my beliefs, that He is the Father, the creator of all good. And Satan is here running rampant through this world right now, and he is controlling things to a huge degree, and he is the one that I feel like puts things in your mind like, you can't make a difference, so why are you even going to try? You can't do that. All those doubts that creep in, the fears that creep in, that is all of the dark, not the light.
It's funny
So
how.
I wanted to finish by saying that as the title, I don't think Mark either does feel like, we are who saves ourselves. We save ourselves through the love of God.
Yeah. And you kind of opened up to where I was, transitioning to, what that means is no one can save you but yourself, is even given the authority that's given to us from God, through God. It's up to us to
absolutely
implement it, right?
Yeah.
It's like anything. We can sit there and say we're saved. We can say we're this. We can say we're that. But it takes effort and work. It's no different than, I always use the example of the years I was bodybuilding. Some of my best workouts came from the days I absolutely didn't want to go to the gym. But discipline is doing things when you don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. Discipline is doing things when you don't feel like doing it. It's easy to do things when everything's going right.
And it's definitely hard to do the right thing, as often as you can. I mean, obviously you're not going to always make the best decisions and go the right. That's, I guess, what's called the narrow path.
Yeah. Well, I think what's interesting about technology these days is, we hear the word and the saying is the algorithm. The algorithm will find you these days, and that's true. So if you're not already a subscriber and you've stumbled across this video and some of these words coming out of our mouth is impacting you, it's found you. Right. Because And so if you want to see where you need to change some habits for yourself, and this is true for me, look at your timeline, look at your algorithm, what things are showing up in your timeline. Because when I'll say some things and Donna's like, I don't have that on mine. It's like you're doing a lot of things with, animals and, chickens and just, a lot of the sermons you watch and this and that. So I have a hodgepodge, a mixture of stuff. I sit there and I will complain.
You watch a lot more news stuff.
Yeah. But even with that, I can, if you watch something, even by accident, you watch it, you start getting fed more and more of that.
Yeah.
So if you sit there and you watch some stupid idiot that's, just doing something dumb, and you watch it, well, now you find more and more things that watch dumb. And I'll sit there and share a video that I'm complaining about when I'm a victim of, I gave them another view just to complain about it.
Exactly.
So, anyway, when you were talking, Donna, it made me start thinking about the authentic truth of life and being able to stand boldly and look at this camera and talk with you and put this out there to where I know the things that I'm saying is true. And what I mean by that is we can put our best foot forward. We can sit there and have our polished look. We could put on our suit and tie and we can do all those things, but behind the scenes, there's issues and there's things going on that when we're saying no one can save you but yourself, are there things you need to work on that you just need to work on it? Like you can keep ignoring it all you want. Maybe you drink too much. Maybe you're in a relationships and your eyes are wandering. Maybe you're on the verge of having an affair. Maybe you're having one. Maybe there's issues with your finances that you need to get under control. The point being is, I told Donna the other day, because I started looking up some old colleagues for my finance company, and I was wanting to maybe reconnect. And I had this certain person. He was a CPA, one of those highfalutin, well-known. You would look at his life and go, man, he has got it going on. He's living in the the $1 million neighborhoods and involved in all these community events and organizations. And I looked him up. The dude's going to jail. He was involved in a tax write-off scheme, and his company made almost $3 million off of that.
And it's you see things like that, and you go, you have the ability to do the right thing. Why would you choose that path?
Yeah.
Why would you decide to do that and ruin your life? And I
mean, how many times that's happened? We've seen a lot of people we've known.
Yeah.
Our Sunday school class, Donna, back when we were heavily involved in the church years ago, there were 3 different couples in our Sunday school class having an affair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
It was crazy.
Yeah. But anyway, we're kind of spinning off the path here. But my point is what really wanted to come and really bring this down to center focus of the message behind this is for you, someone that's sitting there just kind of looking and listening and watching, and it's touching something in your life. The things that's helped Don and I's marriage be strong is the fact that we have both learned to let each other, be ourselves, and no matter how much encouragement Donna has given me throughout our marriage, being an entrepreneur, and me struggling with a negative mindset when that is the complete opposite of the kind of mindset you have to be in business, actually just to survive in life. But it's not blaming my parents, but I was raised around a very negative environment, like the Chicken Little, the sky's falling, the worry wart. And at the same time, that was such a vast, opposite of what faith taught us. So I'm sitting there going to church and then seeing the opposite, from our life. My point being is, no matter how many times Donna's tried to love on me and try to encourage me to stop beating myself up, stop letting the devil molest my mind, literally, and sitting there being beat up and attacked through negativity, which breeds worry, fear, anxiety. Those things produces chemicals in your body called cortisol and adrenaline, because your mind doesn't know the difference, to where it's there, to where if you have something in an emergency
if you're recalling
situation,
something fearful
all the time,
you go back through that again physically.
You're living it. But no matter how many times Donna would try to encourage me, or how many things like As a Man Thinketh, or the Bible, or Napoleon Hill, or all those positive motivational Tony Robbins types of things, Les Brown, on and on and on it goes. There's truths behind all that, but if you don't apply it yourself and start living it, you're just going to, I call it a ring, the ring around the rosy type thing. You're just going to make another trip around the mountain. And until you finally get to the point of saving yourself and putting in the work and the discipline to change that mindset, it's never going to change.
Literally anything in life. If I say, I want to, like, for me, a goal is to improve and deepen my relationship with God. And yet I could sit there and say that every single day and never crack the Bible open, never listen to the Word of God in any way, shape, or form. And that's not going to happen. So that's what we mean. Exactly that, by saying, only you can save yourself, because, it would be in a practical sense. If I said, I hate how out of shape I am. Would you bring me a donut?
Speaking of which, I did.
He did bring me a donut. But you know what I mean. But I mean, like, it's that kind of thing. I mean, you have to put the work in whatever it is. And sometimes it's not just putting that work in for yourself, it's putting that work in for your family, for your husband, for
Mm-hmm.
your wife, or whatever, because there are a lot of, I am just the person, well, I'll say this. My channel, The Coop Scoop, is, just about my chickens and chickens in general. And I have had several people say, aren't you, I keep hearing more and more about the bird flu, aren't you worried about that? Or are you worried about that? Or what? No, I don't worry about anything. I mean, I don't mean it to sound shallow. That's not how I live my life. I
Yeah.
cannot literally get up every day and go, what if my beautiful chickens that I love and adore come down with the bird flu? I mean, why would I want to live like that? If it's going to happen, it's going to.
That is such a perfect example of the opposite of finding myself. That's how I was raised and how I live my life. Right? Is that you're almost inviting it into your life. You're manifesting that into your life.
I think the first time I really, really, and you'll probably remember what I'm saying, realized, and I don't, and this is going to sound really mean as it comes out of my mouth, just how dysfunctional the parent-children relationship was with you and your family and your mom and dad, or your mom mostly, was when we went on a trip to the mountains. And it was the first time we had really gotten away. We hadn't been married that long, but we were clearly adults. I had a child, I had been married before, and we went, and Mark said, I think it was the first morning, let me get the phone call out of the way. And I was kind of like, what? And he's like, I have to call mom, and I was like, we're in the mountains. We're on vacation. We're in the North Georgia mountains. We're like a few hours away, not like out of the country.
It wasn't
or
even
something.
cell phones then. I think you had to use a landline.
Yes. So he had to, and the service is always kind of sketchy, even on a landline up there. And so he had to call his mom like twice a day. And then I think it's like that evening or something, you said you had been fishing, fly fishing. Oh, I don't want you to get in the river. And I was just like, like, every relationship needs to find that sweet spot where you're, if you want to have that relationship, where you're good for each other.
Yes.
I mean, like, if you have a friendship that's really toxic, if there comes a point where you go, I know we've been friends forever, but I can't do this anymore. Something has to change. If it doesn't change, then, maybe you have to let that go. But we have to live here in the natural until we pass away. And, I feel like in all situations, we need to be making the best of it, no matter what it is. And with my mom, we just have this wonderful adult relationship.
Yeah.
We're friends. Like, my sister and my mom
Y'all have fun
are my absolute, and Mark's sister, Cindy, these are my best friends. I have a lifelong friend too. And I don't see her very often because she lives out of state, but we're best friends. And, my mother has let us grow up and be adults. And she has that adult relationship with us. So I think whatever that relationship is, you do have to have that give and take. And that wasn't present, I think, in your life. So it was hard to become the man of your own household, and still have your mom wanting to run the show for you.
Well, it's almost like this codependent thing, to where not necessarily wanting to do it, but just going because they want to deal with the
and I get that
dysfunction of it all. But I think what comes to my mind of the way I want to wrap this up here is bringing it back to marriage, and and applying this to really any relationship, but particularly marriage, and what we've learned along the way, and letting each other still be themselves, and also learning how to keep your mouth shut, and not, because when you're married, as long as we have been married, we know what each other's kryptonite is.
Yeah.
Right. Superman was Superman, and all of a sudden the green kryptonite, he would crumble. Yeah. All it took was a little bit of kryptonite and he wasn't Superman anymore.
Yeah.
So I think it's a matter
You know
of,
what buttons to push and
you know
what
what, but
buttons
and
not
not to
to.
push and in
Mhm.
respect when I'm not going to say that right now,
Yeah.
right? But allowing each other to still, be themselves. And Donna has always, always loved animals. I mean, to the point of that's her life mission, right?
Yeah.
To where when she did rescue, a lot of times I would just bring in these weird controlling things because I'm worried about whatever I was worried about, right?
Something.
But you know, just like the dog rescue, and that turned into us having 10 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And just like having the chickens, is I now find joy watching Donna enjoy being Donna.
Yeah.
To where I know that if we're going to get chickens, it's not going to just be one. It's going to end
Well,
up
that's just
being
wrong. Anyway.
it's going to end up being however many it's going to be.
Mhm.
But just allowing each other to be each other, and learning to be friends.
Yeah.
If you can learn to become best friends in a marriage, you've got it figured out.
Yeah,
But
and I think that oh, I don't remember if it was our first or second video that we did on this channel, and somebody made a comment, and I didn't really know what the comment meant. It was something like, "Well, that's great as long as Donna isn't pulling all the weight," or something to that effect. And I was like, "I don't know." And so I just answered back and said, "I don't know what you mean." And it was basically like, um, the gist of it was almost like if you weren't controlling me. And I was like, "Girl, you're talking to the wrong person."
you have no idea
That ain't how
what
things
you're
work.
talking about.
Yeah, exactly. No, no, that does not go down. But I think for some people, having that, allowing the husband or the wife to have something that they really want, or having a mood that day, or whatever it might be, for some people, that sounds like a form of control. But it's like, if you love somebody, why would you not let them be themselves so that you in
Yeah.
turn can have that same respect? And it
Yeah.
does come down to respect and being able to help each other through things and be kind to each other when, because there are days like, if Mark is being, down and depressed or something about something, and then he'll get, frustrated about it. I, don't have a problem going like, today is not the day.
Yeah.
So you better fake it till you make it, because
Yeah.
I'm not, because I've got a lot going on or whatever. And he will go like, okay. And I don't even care if he's faking a good mood. Like, I need you to fake it because
Yeah.
I don't want
Yeah.
your bad mood or whatever. But
Well, but
it's
that
that sort of thing that we like do for each other.
yeah, what you're saying right there is it kind of it comes full circle. Is the things that I have learned and learning and implying in is trying to be in the present moment in life.
Yeah.
Because as an entrepreneur, I've always been living in the future, looking back at the past of the
Yeah.
things that have happened, because I've been on the verge of very, very successful retirement twice, and things happen to just take it away for whatever reason. I'm not making excuses. It was things out of my control.
Yeah.
And so being at 60 years old and sitting there trying to make the right decisions to try to make up for that lost ground, et cetera. Uh, but fretting doesn't get you anywhere.
Mm-mm.
And
No.
learning to, like Donna is a master at being in the present moment, right? So I think what I want to end and close this with, and tying it to marriage, is when something bad happens to put you in a bad mood, or the stress is mounting, or whatever is going on, and maybe it's out of your control, maybe it's a very bad situation, is not allowing it to take you down, and learning to breathe and rest and just be in the present moment, and learn how to fight, learn how to let go and forgive, right?
Yeah.
Pick your battles, so to speak, because it's easy to stay all bunched up and mad and angry and carry
Yeah.
it through the day and the weekend. That if you're going through something as a couple, think about what is really going on. Is it really worth you ruining the rest of the day, or ruining the rest of
Well,
your weekend?
there was something that you said in that made me think of this. We live in the small moments every day.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, during the course of any given day, something little can happen. And watching Mark's parents, for instance, if his dad would say something that his mom just didn't like or didn't agree with. And a perfect example is one day he started to tell me something. He said, "Did I ever tell you about when I was in the military?" And she goes, "She doesn't want to hear that." And I just was like, "Yeah, I do." But it was that sort of relationship they had that if he was going in a direction that, in a conversation that she didn't like, she would just nip it in the bud. If you are just by yourself and you drop a glass in the kitchen and then you're just raving mad that happened and you're projecting that bad mood, those are those small moments that make up your day. And you can have a healthy, you can save yourself from ruining that day by saying, I see it happen with people. I see so many situations, and especially when I used to be on Facebook, where there would be the wives complaining about their husbands wanting to play golf, for instance. Girl, take that day and do whatever you want. Like, why are you mad that your husband is playing golf? Go enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
I don't understand that sort of mentality. You have to let your significant partner, spouse, whatever it might be, have their own life to some degree. And, if I want to go, like literally, if I want to go spend the whole day at my mom, because when we get together with my family, it's a whole day.
Yeah.
There ain't no, I'm going to go to my mom's for a minute. I'm all day. I'll see you tonight. And he knows that, he's not going to go, well, I wanted you to be home today and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't understand why people want to take the little moments that could be fantastic every day and turn them into something negative and be a Bickerson and that sort of thing. So if you're have showed up here at the channel and you are going into a marriage, like, if you feel like maybe I can change her as we get married, or maybe I can change him, don't. Because that you'll change over the years. You're going to become a different person. We're very different than we used to be, but if you go into it with that thought, like, I don't like the way they breathe, but I'll take care of that, that sort of thing. But
if you're dating and you got to go to counseling from the get-go,
I don't. Yeah. You might not be right for each other, but you might need to do a whole lot of work on yourself.
Yeah.
Which is
a good way to button it up. And that gets back to what you just said, is no one's going to save us, or no one's going to save you but yourself. And so hopefully there's been some things that have been said that makes you self-reflect. Maybe it touched a chord in you that goes, wow, maybe I need to really work on this or work on that and change my views on it. Maybe I need to keep that kryptonite in my pocket sometimes instead of using it as a weapon to take down my loved one, or use it as that blowout punch just to win the fight.
Yeah, because if every little thing that happens in life implodes you when the big things come along, and they will, it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
That's when marriages fall apart.
True. So anyway, for what it's worth, I'm Mark.
And I'm Donna.
And welcome to our little life. If you got something out of this, if it was an impactful thing, I hope so. Leave your comment, share it. At the end of the day, we just wish you well in your life and take some of the things, and God bless you. So until next time, I guess we need to be more consistent, right?
We do. Well, I will say this, for me, one of the things that kind of put me on hold for doing it, yes, the weather, and it's been bitter cold here. We're back to normal now, but we don't get that here. It's been 7 years since it snowed, and I have animals outside, so I was running the whole. Mark was like really busy with work, and it was like every hour and a half having to change the water out there because it wasn't getting above freezing. So, at the end of the day, we were both kind of like, no, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to be sitting in front of the fire.
Yeah.
Falling out. Y'all have a fantastic day, and we appreciate you being here.
Yep. And we'll see you on the next episode.
All right. Bye.